As far as the chaos we find ourselves in these days, it's difficult to say which side pulled the trigger first. Erusia deployed an automatic intercept system with drones. Osea implemented long-range attacks to bypass them. So Erusia decided to sabotage Osea's communications and navigation technology. Erusia couldn't launch a satellite themselves, but they were still able to hack the software of the Osean transmission and navigation systems. Before Osea even noticed, half of their satellites were hijacked. That's when things got ugly. In an attempt to knock out each other's capabilities, both forces launched fighters loaded with anti-satellite missiles at the same time. Only military satellites were targeted. However, their destruction created a debris field in orbit, which wiped out scores of other satellites, both private and government-owned. What kept the world relatively sane up to that point had been free-flowing data and information. But now, those were gone. All that remained was chaos and confusion. Government and civilian broadcasts and transmissions were cut off. The flow of information had ceased. Forces on both sides of the conflict now found themselves unable to communicate with their superiors. Many of the smaller countries annexed by Erusia and yearning for their independence seized the opportunity and started their own uprisings. As for why some of Osea's military decided to break off from the main force and continue on their own, I have no idea. Perhaps there was some sort of dispute over the chain of command. The continent that had once seen wars that were only fought between Osea and Erusia was now full of numerous conflicts between rival leaders vying for power. Insurgencies were everywhere. I even heard a rumor that a group of Osean convicts had rebelled. Rumors. It never ceased to amaze me that even at a crazy time like this, something as trivial as a rumor could find its way here. Communications from corporate were cut off. Apparently, the entire computer network was down. It was a wise decision to make our drones autonomous with AI instead of being radio-controlled. Wise and forward-thinking. Even with their GPS offline, they can still use their sensors to navigate as long as they're working properly. I'm sure the drones are still working perfectly, following their mission orders to the letter. I wish I could upload Mihai's new data to them. But without a connection, I can't upload the software to the active drones. The new ones we're making, though, there should still be enough time to upgrade those before they're activated. I'll be taking the data I've acquired away from the front lines now. Oh, and I'll be taking the girls, too. I told my assistant Masa it was time to get Mihai's granddaughters ready to leave here. She's not much older than the girls, but she has a way about her, and I'm sure she won't have any trouble with them. I saw a plane flying off in the distance. I imagine it was looking for a safer place. The plane had a rose emblem on it.
Erusia's communication networks have been down since their satellites were destroyed. Unfortunately, we are experiencing trouble too. All of Usia has been affected, and we don't know when things will be back up and running. We're not even sure if this is Erusia's doing. Still, we will follow the strategy that was originally planned, and move on to the next operation after liberating Farbanti. Let's get to it. Since the war began, we've been receiving communications in secret from an officer in the Erusian army.
With the capital under our control, Erusia's radical element is losing support quickly, affecting the balance of power.
HQ is thinking of using the military officer as a way to gain leverage to settle peace negotiations. The officer is currently hiding in the outskirts of Anchorhead Bay, having joined up with support dispatched from the Osean army. The plan is that they'll take a standard vehicle to a rendezvous point at a harbor in the east part of the city, where a helicopter will be waiting.
I would like the new Strider Squadron to provide escort for the officer. Cyclops will remain at the base on standby to serve as defense.
With the communication network currently down in the capital, I very much doubt Erusia will be able to mount a regimented counterattack. However, it is likely that Erusia's intelligence department and the remaining forces who are aware of the officer's movements will interfere. Keep a close eye on the officer and make sure he stays safe. Our victory in Farbanti has given us a golden opportunity to finally end this war. Be safe out there.
Take note that our satellite-based IFF has become unreliable following the recent communications failure. As such, target ID will be done by processing the images from the infrared cameras on your aircraft. Objects will initially appear as unknown on your HUDs, but will be ID'd once you close in on them for a set period of time.
Strider Squadron, you're cleared to taxi.
To the unidentified Osean craft, this is Captain Carl of the Osean Army. Are you here for the escort? You're not the squadron I was expecting. Are you really friendlies? Over.
This is Longcaster. Airborne warning and control system for the Osean Long-Range Strategic Strike Group. Captain Carl, they're on our side.
And those two pilots we've heard about must be here too.
Okay, I hope you're right. Longcaster, are all of these really unknowns?
It's a state of civil war. The Erusian army is fighting itself. There's no guarantee the Oseans won't shoot us in this confusion.
We'll image process the unknowns caught in your cams to identify friend or foe. The process will be faster if you get a close-up, well-centered image.
Meanwhile, just run if they shoot us, right?
Affirmative. Always identify your target before you fire.
War is something I'll never get used to. But tonight has been a total shock. The city under martial law. Gunfire and the roar of jets echoing through the streets.
Strider Squadron's IDs. Oh, and hand me that sandwich. Chaff and flares launched.
Which faction is the head of our organization? We need to know at once.
Entering the Anchorhead Bay area. Buildings will block your line of sight. Make sure to keep track of your objective.
How this war ends depends on this mission. I'm counting on you. Understood. Make it on.
Strider Squadron, identify the unknowns along the route.
Target acquired.
Strider 2, Fox 2. Somebody take out those allied planes behind us.
We have no orders, but we do have ID data. Check your TAC terminal.
Roger that. We'll look for our way home.
Fox 2. Strider 1, target acquired. Vehicle confirmed destroyed.
What are you thinking?
It's a Russian.
They aren't responding aggressively.
General, if they're conservatives, they'll listen to us. The negotiations were successful, Master. They've opened up a path for us. The more the merrier.
ID'd as Osean forces. This is AWACS for the LRSSG.
Our intel has been updated.
We can't see the tops of the roofs from down here. Be on the lookout for enemy ambushes.
Fox 2. Strider 1, target destroyed.
We made it through the Anchorhead Bay area. We're heading along Highway 208 under the bridge. We're taking the coastal highway at the next ramp.
All right.
Why don't people realize this? There's a strict curfew, but people gather at bars and other places to learn what's going on.
ID'd as a Russian military.
Wait, General managed to convince them.
Listen, those that protect General LaFarge are the real patriots. Onward!
Vessel confirmed sunk.
There's a vehicle up ahead. Think it's gonna ask us to pay a toll? Get closer and find out if it's an enemy vehicle.
We'll go. Let's go.
We archived all the footage that we've shot, but when the communication networks come back online. Locked on Bandit. We need to remind everyone that there's no such thing as a Cold War.
Enemy's got a lock.
Signs of the Cold Warfare at the beginning of this war are now gone. He touched it. Trigger, missile inbound.
Chaff and flares are running low.
This one's wide open. It's no good. There's still a car on the road. Just to be safe, we better avoid the highway and head for the warehouse district. Lancaster, we're taking a detour. Don't lose us.
Strider 1, the General's route has changed. Keep your eyes on his vehicle. Don't let him out of your sight.
There's a vehicle blocking the road. No response to hails. It's the radicals. Here comes a traitor, LaFarge. This is a wide net they've cast. They really don't want the war to end, do they? LaFarge in that vehicle!
We've been set up in all the right places.
Target destroyed.
We have some enemies coming up behind us. They're gaining on us. We changed our route. The enemy's still on us.
Fox 3.
Friendly aircraft on!
Missile launched. Strider 1, APC destroyed.
Weapons on!
Locked on bandit. That was too close for comfort.
In gun range. Strider 1, target destroyed.
It is not machines that make the decisions in war. It's people. Understand that.
Turn right. No, wait. That goes into the ocean. I can't shake the enemies on my tail.
Strider 1 is down.
There's a strict curfew. Enemies gather at bars and other places to learn what's going on.
Squad, friendly hello and Tron. I'm a patriot and my duty is calling. Nice work, Leo 2. That's a confirmed kill. You are a true patriot.
Wait. General managed to convince them.
Listen, those that protect General Labarth are the real patriots. Onward!
There's a vehicle up ahead. Think it's gonna ask us to pay a toll? Get closer and find out if it's an enemy vehicle.
We'll go. Let's go.
We archived all the footage that we've shot. The communication networks come back online.
We need to remind everyone that there's no such thing as a clean war.
Signs of infrastructure at the beginning of this war are now gone. There's a vehicle blocking the road. No response to hails. It's the radicals. It's no good. There's still a car on the road. Just to be safe, we better avoid the highway and head for the warehouse district. Lancaster, we're taking a detour. Don't lose us.
Strider 1, General's route has changed. Keep your eyes on his vehicle. Don't let him out of your sight.
Here comes the traitor, Lafarge. This is a wide net they've cast. They really don't want the war to end, do they? Lafarge in that vehicle!
They've been set up in all the right places.
We have some enemies coming up behind us. They're gaining on us.
Fire from our own ally. Is this place under the
We changed our route, but the enemy's still on us.
Strider 1, Fox 2.
leading our country even further into ruin.
Strider 1, APC destroyed.
Weapons on!
Your plane will ice up if you stay in there too long.
Clear up with our ideas. What point is there in living? That's the challenge of the country.
We're almost at landfill number 7. If we can make it through, we'll be in arm's reach of the rendezvous at Kruger Park. Captain Carl, do you have the means to record this conversation? I wish to explain to you the situation inside Erusia. I'm sure the boys listening upstairs will record it. The open declaration of war, expanding the front lines, was all the works of young Erusian officers. They were referred to as the Radicals, but there was an unseen force guiding them. It was technology they borrowed from the Belgians. They actually went to war. The performance of the attack drones exceeded their wildest dreams. And they were incredibly clean, which got public opinion and the opportunists within the military on their side. They even manipulated the princess. The Belkin technology advanced UAV research within the Erusian Flight Test Center by at least 10 years. They used the flight data from a former ace pilot drone AI, but to us it's no different than magic or alchemy. Airplanes are meant to be flown by human beings. Those of you listening in, am I wrong?
We're heading towards Grunder Park. Rendezvous point is a helipad on this man-made island. We'll ditch the car and take the helicopter from there.
Hostile has a lock. There are rumors of a military group calling itself the Free Illusions.
An unknown is blocking our scheduled route.
No response. Got a bad feeling.
Fox 2.
Objective destroy 3 strikes. I'm hit. Get this guy off my back. Open fire on that vehicle.
The VIP is taking fire. His vehicle stopped.
Traeger, enemy has a lock on you. Missile inbound. Evade. Try to help us before we get shot. It's not like this is a tank or anything.
Captain Carl, we have a new rendezvous point. New coordinates are as follows. 263 Tango 4, 1999 Delta Lima. Rescue team says hostiles are making the area too dangerous.
Well, yeah. Don't they know nowhere is safe? Our capital's fall has led to another power struggle within the Erusian military. It's all gone to hell. Even radio chatters about the Civil War. Radio? You have one in your cockpit? Yeah, ever since my previous squadron. I've got it taped, nice and secure.
We're about to cross Anchor Bridge. There'll be nowhere to hide.
That was something.
Bridge is being blocked off by a tank. This is brilliant.
Ocean forces at landfill number 7. This is AWACS Longcaster.
An armored vehicle's behind us. It's a vehicle used by the Erusian forces. Take it out!
Trigger, our VIP is in trouble. Clear the way for it.
Taking fire! Take care of them!
General, we still have drones at our disposal. Slow from these talks. Please, watch over the future we build from high heavens.
The General is speaking to the commander.
Fire with the Ocean aircraft. General's orders.
We're taking fire! We can't hold off! We've almost reached the container area. Watch out for enemy ambushes.
Understood. System failures caused friendly fire incidents among Ocean forces.
Strider 1, top
There are even rumors of penal units turning on their former allies.
We have no choice. Fire!
With the main conflict concluded, regional forces in the center, south, and east struggle over stabilization of the nation.
Confirmed destroyed.
The Erusian government has portrayed these groups, along with those trying to independently make peace with Lucia, as rebels.
Hostile tanks are keeping the armored formation at Anchor Bay from protecting the VIP. Can you clear them out for us?
No problem. We're coming up on a tunnel. We'll need to split up until we reach the exit. There's more to Belkin technology than just UAVs. Making IFF designations for one was an astonishing feat. They used it to make drones that resembled Osean fighters. And then to assassinate Harley, putting blame on enemy fighters. But in the end, Belkin technology brought chaos to the world.
Actually, Lucia's responsible for Harley's assassination.
You talking politics? That's new.
Can't ignore a story like that, right, Trigger? Bad news. Hostile armored forces outside of the tunnel. I'm thinking that we should go
say hi when they really challenge me.
Jacob, he'll get you. Take out Denny in autonomous mode.
Pay attention, right!
Found you at last, Longcaster. We've been briefed and we're here to help. Those guys shooting up there, aren't they both Oseans?
ID'd as Erusian military.
We're taking heavy fire. Concentrate your fire on the combat vehicles.
The General's a real celebrity. Seems everyone wants to meet him.
That's enough. From here on out, all aircraft are prohibited from taking off. We were nearly done for. I couldn't have asked for a better timing. We've reached the industrial zone. This should be the new rendezvous point. The coordinates are up ahead. Take out any enemies in the surrounding area.
Officers from countries annexed by Erusia have taken multiple routes and declared independence.
Don't worry, we won't let anybody through after you.
Almost at the rendezvous. In the rear of the others.
Understood.
The radicals truly believe boosting drug productions will make up for our losses. They shouldn't take responsibility for the capital's fall, but instead they're prolonging the war. That is why proper conservatives like myself are moving to regain control. If all goes well, we should be able to sign a truce with Osea quickly.
Three strikes. A member of the penal unit will be flying a plane.
We've reached the rendezvous point. There's the chopper, too.
Who do we turn to in this darkest hour? We need a beacon of light to show us the way. This is the Erusian News Network.
Okay, let's go. Getting out of here. We've had just about enough of this place. I'd like to offer my thanks to the LRSSG. This should finally bring about a true end to the war.
Understood. Good luck.
Target is eliminated.
Multiple unidentified aircraft approaching.
This plane is carrying civilians. We have escort fighters, but we do not intend to engage in combat. Please stand down.
What's going on?
Try to get a little closer. Weapon use is prohibited.
What's going on? Dr. Schroeder! Whoa. There's a girl on board?
He's not lying about carrying civilians.
No. Unless she's a soldier.
Weapon use is prohibited. We've checked footage. It does seem to be a transport with escorts.
I repeat, this craft is carrying civilians. We are not here to fight.
Dr. Schroeder, tell me what's happening.
I'm sure I don't need to remind you, but do not attack the civilian liaison.
That's the aircraft your grandfather told me about. The one with the scratches.
There it is. The EASA liaison plane. They engage in witchcraft with Belkin technology. They're responsible for leading the military down the wrong path.
Wait! Unknown's attacking the girl's plane!
He's on tight.
Longcaster, permission to engage.
Negative.
What?
They could be Osean fighters. ID them ASAP.
Shit.
That's all we can do.
ID complete. They're Erusian fighters. What the hell is going on?
Stay sharp.
Uh-huh.
Right, I'm shooting them down. Any complaints?
Granted.
Wilco.
Trigger, what the hell are you doing?
carrying civilians. We have escort fighters, but we do not intend to engage in combat. Please stand down.
What's going on?
Try to get a little closer. Weapon use is prohibited.
What's going on? Dr. Schroeder!
Whoa, whoa. There's a girl on board?
He's not lying about carrying civilians.
No. Unless she's a soldier.
Weapon use is prohibited. We've checked footage. It does seem to be a transport with escorts.
I repeat, this craft is carrying civilians. We are not here to fight.
Dr. Schroeder, tell me what's happening.
I'm sure I don't need to remind you, but do not attack the civilian liaison.
That's the aircraft my grandfather told me about. The one with the scratches.
There it is. The EASA liaison plane. They engage in witchcraft with Belkin technology. They're responsible for leading the military down the wrong path.
Wait! Unknown's attacking the girl's plane!
Alma, hold on tight.
Longcaster, permission to engage.
Negative.
What?
They could be Osean fighters. ID them ASAP. ID complete. They're Erusian fighters. What the hell is going on?
Stay sharp.
Uh-huh.
Right, I'm shooting him down. Any complaints?
Granted.
Wilco.
Wilco.
Yeah, good work. Trader 1 has killed a bandit.
Careful, those guys are good. Wait, you don't think it's those Osean big shots, do you? I managed to catch a glimpse of those ring strikes.
Don't miss. Trigger, what the hell are you doing?
This plane is carrying civilians. We have escort fighters, but we do not intend to engage in combat. Please stand down.
What's going on?
Try to get a little closer. Weapon use is prohibited.
What's going on? Dr. Schroeder!
Whoa, whoa. There's a girl on board?
He's not lying about carrying civilians.
No. Unless she's a soldier.
Weapon use is prohibited. We've checked footage. It does seem to be a transport with escorts.
I repeat, this craft is carrying civilians. We are not here to fight.
Dr. Schroeder, tell me what's happening.
I'm sure I don't need to remind you, but do not attack the civilian liaison.
That's the aircraft my grandfather told me about. The one with the scratches.
There it is. The EASA liaison plane. They engage in witchcraft with Belkin technology. They're responsible for leading the military down the wrong path.
Wait! Unknown's attacking the girl's plane!
Alma, hold on tight.
Longcaster, permission to engage.
Negative.
What?
It could be Osean fighters. ID them ASAP. ID complete. They're Erusian fighters. What the hell is going on?
Stay sharp.
Uh-huh.
Right, I'm shooting him down. Any complaints?
Granted.
Wilco.
Wilco. Wilco.
It's a machine gun range.
Yeah, good work. Trader 1 has killed a bandit.
Careful, those guys are good. Wait, you don't think it's those Osean big shots, do you? I managed to catch a glimpse of the three strikes.
Mine.
Don't miss. Enemy put down.
Aim carefully.
No good. Shit.
They're in my way. I'm on my target's tail.
Bandit destroyed. Well done. Attack missed.
Watch it. Enemy has a lock on you. Strutter 1, missile launched.
Nice kill.
Hostile aircraft eliminated. The liaison is safe. Wait.
The escort fighter is... in drive. They're missing the drive.
What the hell? You gotta be kidding me. Liaison escort has a radar lock. They're targeting you guys.
What the hell? We were just helping them.
Erusian aircraft, this is AWACS Longcaster. Do not engage the liaison. Break off now.
Can you hear me on this channel, Ocean Craft? Those escort aircraft are drones. They are currently being operated autonomously. They are not being controlled by anyone. They are flying on their own volition.
What?
In that case, we have no choice but to shoot the aircraft down.
Unfortunately, yes.
We did what we could. Weapons free. We're cleared to attack the escort.
Wilco. Understood.
Wilco.
Can't afford the MQ-99 launch. Our commands are overridden. You'll be accessing us remotely.
Behind me. Launching missile. Hey, it's not our fault they won't listen to reason. Why build something like that? Whoever did is the king of all dumbasses.
To build something else entirely.
Additional hostiles inbound. Great timing.
Son of a bitch.
No. The escort must have used its remote activation rights to gain more allies. Clever.
Target's in machine gun range. Five bandits remaining.
Damn it. They don't have the drive they need. It's not enough to be really functional. There has to be a time when it should not function. What is that?
4 bandits left.
They have to be back about day.
Three bandits to go.
Behind the enemy.
Strider 1, missile launched. 2 bandits left. Show them what you got. Strider 1, target acquired. 1 bandit to go. Fox 3.
Strider 1, that's what I like to see. Another story to tell my boy.
Understood. All hostiles have been eliminated. Nice. General's helicopter is flying safely outside Anchorhead Bay. All aircraft, RTB, mission complete.
All hostiles, huh?
General, the Ocean aircraft is here to pick us up. The approaching Ocean aircraft.
Ocean's army? Elaborate. They stole our sealed orders. It should be a piece of cake.
Are you sent by the General's staff? No, it's my fault. I can't!
There are 3 scratches.
What does that mean?
The tail of that plane.
Longcaster, are all of these really...
In order to respond to the attack on the base, Cyclops has scrambled after being on standby. We'll head up too once our planes are ready. Oh, and Labarth is dead. What did you say? Apparently, he was shot down by another Osean aircraft after he left the area of operations. I mean, I know it was chaos, but still. At any rate, the sealed order operation has come to a close. We have no idea about a plan for going forward.
All we can do for now is watch our own backs.
What's up with the commander?
He's staying in his room. He's still alive, since we can hear him crying.
The island we went to was supposed to have been secured by the ground forces. They hadn't gotten a handle on things by the time we got there, so now we were stuck in the middle of a half-assed campaign. My job was to get the planes ready for combat, making repairs and handing them over to our troop of cons. Thing is, the enemy still had the hangars. The comms were still down, so none of us knew what the hell was going on. The last transmission I heard before everything went to shit was that some prisoners from an Osean military penal unit rioted and managed to escape. They stole some jets and now they were flying around, taking out their former allies left and right. I wonder if any units like ours were out here, creeping around. Hearing the Osean jets firing at each other overhead chipped away at morale. Since the radio was out, it was quiet. I liked it better that way. All I heard was the gunfire. Here we were, walking around carrying rifles. We were pilots, damn it. Friendly fire will probably kill us. You know things are desperate when the guards that used to lock us into solitary are now telling us it's better we all stick together. I guess they think our odds of surviving this war are better that way. After walking for miles across the battlefield, we came across the wreckage of a plane. Passenger, not military. I knew that rose. It was an Erusian liaison plane. The guards' dogs smelled something and took off. They led us to a cliff. And the bodies.
Today, I lost everything. When Osea attacked our capital, my father, a man who was never really suited to being the king, was killed. I was to be flown out of the war zone to safety, but the plane was shot down by rebels. The entire crew was killed in the crash. Soldiers appeared and one shot at me. My dog went after him and shot him to pieces. He was my best friend. After all those speeches I gave about working together for peace, I thought everyone felt the same as I did. I'm sure the soldier who shot at me knew I was the Princess of Erusia. He was Erusian too. More soldiers have come. Now, there is no one left to protect me. I am so numb, I cannot move. I watch as one of their dogs approaches. It sniffs mournfully at my dead friend. I wonder if it grieves for him as much as I do. I can barely think. I feel weaker by the minute. I don't know who these soldiers are with, but I managed to take a sip of the water they gave me.
How long have you been here?
Somehow, I muster the courage to answer the woman's question. I tell her I've been there 3 days. They gather around me with grim looks on their faces. What would they do if they knew I was the Erusian princess? After searching the cockpit of the plane, the woman who spoke to me before came back to me.
This is an air-to-ground tactical radio. It still works!
I noticed she walked with a limp. She knelt down next to me and asked her companions to give me some food. And then, very softly, she said,
"You see, I used to listen to your broadcasts, Your Royal Highness. Just what did you see here?
Okay, enough talk. Your opinions have all been taken into consideration. Beyond the seizure of Farbanti, which is important, and supporting the Erusian officer, at this point, I just don't know what our strategy is, or what our mission will be. Radio communication is still patchy for both the military and civilians, so we're getting zip from Mission Command about our orders. Still, with countless Erusian forces in the area, it's too dangerous for us to stay around here waiting for a miracle. Now, regarding Count's suggestion to think about self-defense, I think we should make a break for Tyler Island. It was a large Osean base before the start of the war. Count says his previous squadron took part in an operation to seize control of the island. It has the only base that will get us to the space elevator without refueling. It's also a transport facility for supply ships that provide drones and ammo for arsenal birds. For the Osean forces that are looking to reclaim the space elevator, those are two great reasons in its favor. If everything went according to plan, the base may already be in Allied hands when we get there. Though based on what Count told me about the island operation, it won't be easy to seize control.
If the ground troops have managed to open the bridgehead, the transport route to Osea for supply ships should be available.
So much at stake, I can't imagine Erusia just giving it up without a fight. Things could really have gone bad.
Even if there are enemies left, they should be pretty easy to suppress.
I just want to go home, man.
Me too.
With that look on your face, Trigger, I know exactly what you want.
If Trigger's ready to kick ass, then so am I.
Damn straight. We're with you, Trigger.
It's decided then. Let's get all the aircraft and haul ass to Tyler Island. Although we can avoid the Arsenal Bird's anti-air network, there's still remnants from the Erusian forces. I want to get to the island without getting into any unnecessary combat. Pick a fast craft and fix it how you want. Pack for a long trip, but remember, if you drag your ass, you'll get left behind.
Strider Squadron, sortie ASAP.
This is Tango 2-3, pursued by multiple tanks and APCs. They'll all go down if we don't pull back the landing craft. And what? Abandoned Tango 2-3?
Something's not right.
Tango 2-3, we don't have the firepower to assist you. You're on your own. Please, we need help!
Wagtail is on the Osean landing ship. What's going on? What did you say?
Multiple bogies inbound. Damn it. Prepare for anti-air combat.
This is the AWACS Longcaster. The aircrafts in your area belong to the LRSSG.
Allied aircraft. A retreating vehicle is taking fire. Requesting assistance.
Roger. ID complete.
Their artillery fire just hit us off our starboard side.
Update us on Tyler Island.
Couldn't be worse. Our forces are scattered and on the run.
They're on the run?
They're under attack! We were waiting for retreating units here to carry them out to safety.
Fox 2.
Newspaper, broadcaster. Many of our allies are cut off. We need support and an escape route.
Understood. We'll do what we can. Let's help retreating Osean forces. Take out any hostiles in their area. Don't engage till targets are ID'd.
The boots on the ground don't need more people shooting at them.
Thanks. It's absolute chaos out there. The Erusians are even starting to fight amongst themselves.
Well, now we know what's going on, but shit.
They're all over here. Bodies of dead civilians. Those who were part of the fight. Pretty bad, they're all lined up. No, they are not combatants. Some of them aren't even wearing shoes.
Target eliminated.
I can guess what happened here, but I really don't want to think about it. Yeah, the Erusian bastard. He's a blatant war crime. Take photos for evidence.
If you lose your legs, then crawl. You can surrender when you lose your hands.
Strider 1, missile launched.
Right, count the debris, and the enemy's gone.
Our last vehicle has been destroyed. Let's get out of here.
Let's get moving! Hit the gas and don't let up until we reach the extraction point! I don't want to see anyone, hostile or friendly!
ID complete.
I just got the photograph. We'll head back in. Give us another 30 minutes. The men say they want to at least get the children a proper burial. They did it! We're moving out! Leave the dead behind! We'll come back to this island one day and send them off properly.
Don't pursue too deep. We just need to buy some time. Open the bay until operation waiting time. Pull them away from the last driver.
Erusian. Jesus, they're firing at each other. Is this the new norm around here?
It's all crazy people.
Vehicle confirmed destroyed.
Our guys still got the enemy air support. What do we do now? Get in the tank!
Allied retreat looks good.
We are in the middle of a mission to take back the mass driver. The supply ship at the munitions depot. It's highly combustible.
Target is down.
These strikes in the sky just delay their advance. They say you see them, you're a goner.
Strider 1, missile
I found
launched.
12 dead bodies here. They seem to be upper middle class. Spaceport's nearby, so they could be researchers and their families. Most likely, they were involved with Belka. We're outnumbered, taking heavy losses. We can't even run. The enemy will shoot us in the
Strider
back.
1, we've identified the unknown targets. Tank is destroyed.
Get in the landing craft! Many thanks, broadcaster. We didn't have to leave our boys to die.
Understood.
Hit that heavy armor in the front line. Don't stop!
Enemy on your back.
Strider 1, target acquired. Vehicle confirmed destroyed.
I have a solid lock.
Get out of here, hurry! If you let them through, we're as good as dead!
Strider 1, we've identified the unknown targets.
I've got you.
Target is in machine gun range.
Hear us! We're taking fire from multiple enemy tanks!
An explosion inside! Continue the countdown. The enemy's not stupid. We're after the supply ship. Do the countdown! There's still one arsenal left. We can fill it full of bombs, then Erusio will have a fighting chance. Use cameras to track the supply ship.
Launching missile.
Don't fight with your back to the supply ship. We think we're done for.
Fire for the number on my hearing!
It's the Osean military.
Don't they know they're on the same side?
We'll be firing at each other.
This is AWACS Longcaster. We're uploading the latest ID data. Check your TAC terminal.
Hold your fire! Confirmed! The info is from Allied AWACS. Hold your fire! Roger. But what are we supposed to believe?
timing tells me they're not here to bring good news.
We need to ID the bogies. Take them down if they're hostile.
Understood.
Bogies inbound. Escort fighters, we're counting on you. Should we fire? Even if we're not fired upon? Of course. Chase out the bogies. There's no way they're ours. Almost there. Commence operation no return. These are ungood. Stay on course.
Strider Squadron, you're near an armada of bogies. Identify them.
Visual.
Like an eagle.
Grenade locked on.
Identification complete. It's Erusian bombers and their escorts.
Count's prophecy has come true. Take out all bombers. They'll flatten our allies.
Plenty of civilian casualties as well. Precision bombing is impossible in these conditions. Maybe they know they can't. We're gonna drop them all.
Group base to 101. Work together to take them down. Well past the point of no return.
Strider 1, Fox 2.
Locked on.
Enemy on your back.
Outnumbered, will be surrounded.
The bombers are clearing the island. We're running out of time.
Launch control, this is flight leader. All systems ready. We are clear for launch.
This is launch control. The enemy is closing. Confirm launch readiness. Affirmative. This is our last chance for Operation Feeding Time. Launch control, roger that.
Watch yourself. These guys are working together to bring us down.
Only half the bombers remain. We can't let even one get away.
This is Graham 7. Attack failed.
Behind the enemy.
More bombers approaching. Intercept them now.
Grenade locked on.
Enemy on your back.
Grenade locked. This is Graham 7. I'm behind my target.
Intercept those bombers.
Hang in there. This battle isn't over.
Bombers are about to reach the island. Shoot them down now.
These reinforcements are elite.
All enemy bombers have been destroyed.
We did it.
Continue with your mission.
Try to save your ammo. Throw them in and then fire at once. The Erusian ground forces show no sign of letting up. We're taking heavy damage. Thanks, but will we make it in time?
A landing ship is waiting for you.
Right, we leave the wounded. This will guarantee us a one-way ticket to hell. Pretty sure we're there already. Our tank commander's down! Taking fire! We're pinned down! This is Echo 13. 2 tanks left, but they're running out of fuel and low on ammo.
Nice. Target eliminated.
We only need an hour tops. We get the advantage to pin the enemy down.
Locked on.
Missile. Missile.
I got you. Protected.
Missile. Missile.
Help me! Gather all the wounded together.
Hey you, dumbass with the scratches on his tail. Hear me? I need you to help some people. There's a group of refugees surrounded by Erusian tanks right here. Needless to say, their future's not looking too bright.
This is a secure military line. Who is this?
Me? You can call me the Scrap Queen.
Longcaster, she's an ally. Trigger and I'd know that voice anywhere.
That voice. So you're still breathing, Sir Count.
Here, let me have a word. Hey, it's been a while. I had a feeling the two of you were still alive. Remember, stick with Trigger and you'll make it.
I have a bit of intel for you. We'll share it if you can help the refugees.
Count me in.
That's right.
Echo 13, all hostiles are down.
Understood. This is our last chance. We'll see how far we can go.
We've destroyed all of the targets. All bogies should be ID'd now. Mission complete. Okay, Scrap Queen. Send us the target coordinates.
I'm thinking about how I'd do that.
Don't you have a laser target indicator?
Why would she?
No kidding, sir. If he was taking this to the enemy's doorstep, not me. Wait, you moron!
Follow warning.
Wait! What are you doing, dumbass? Here! Attack right here!
Lancaster, we've confirmed the location of the flare.
That's them. All aircraft, we just updated your threat matrix via data link. Take out those targets.
Don't miss. We don't want to hit the pretty ladies down there.
Missile.
Hurry!
Missile. Missile. Missile.
Strata 1, target acquired.
Good job! The enemy tanks are killed. I don't think I could even do anything with that scrap.
Missile. 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 Missile.
As everyone knows it, for no other reason.
Missile. 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 Missile.
Strider 1, APC destroyed. Hurry!
Get moving!
Missile. Missile.
They're not refugees.
Roger that. Make them stop singing!
Damn it.
That's them. All aircraft, we just updated your threat matrix via data link. Take out those targets.
Don't miss. We don't want to hit the pretty ladies down there.
Missile.
Hurry!
Missile. Missile.
Nice. Target eliminated.
Missile. Missile. Missile.
Good job! The enemy tanks are toast.
Missile.
I don't think I could even do anything with that scrap.
Missile. 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 Missile.
Why do they sing that song?
Missile.
Everyone knows it, for no other reason.
Missile. 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 Missile.
Fox 2.
Hurry! Get moving!
Missile. Missile.
They're not refugees.
Missile.
They're criminals.
That's them. All aircraft, we just updated your threat matrix via data link. Take out those targets.
Don't miss. We don't want to hit the pretty ladies down there.
Missile.
Hurry!
Missile. Missile. Missile.
Missile away.
Missile. Missile. Good job! The enemy tanks are close. I don't think I could even do anything with that scrap. Missile. Missile.
Strider 1, target eliminated.
Why do they sing that song? Because everyone knows it. No other reason.
That took care of them. No civilian casualties. Nice going. Do you hear the singing?
Begin terminal countdown. Pressure stable. Cooling system is on.
Lancaster, a promise is a promise. Here's the intel. I heard it from an Erusian soldier that defected. The supply ships will be launched soon.
Yeah, that is valuable information.
That doesn't sound good.
But can it be trusted?
Not sure. Heard it from a man who said he wanted to atone for his sins. Up to you to trust him or not.
Understood. Good luck.
Releasing safety.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Launch. 1, 2, 3. The mass driver is accelerating.
The supply ships have been launched from the mass driver. If the supply ships make it to the Arsenal bird, they'll be able to resupply it. They may be loaded with new weaponry that we don't even know about. We have no choice but to take down the supply ships before they can get within the Arsenal bird's air defense network. You've got to hurry or you're not going to make it. 3 minutes to the enemy's air defense network.
Missile.
Usually pretty good at playing tag with these
All
guys
aircraft,
with a
remain
head
on high
start.
alert. We got bandits incoming on radar. You're gonna have to forget about them for now. Focus on destroying that supply ship first.
We're sitting ducks like this.
Let the supply ship get too far away, we'll be able to catch it. The target's using cloud cover to hide itself. Don't worry, we know where it's heading.
The missile hit its target. Everybody, keep a safe distance to avoid getting caught in the explosion.
Did you see that explosion? Looks like that's one of them down.
Remember, there are 2 supply ships out there. Hurry up and shoot the other one down.
If we're too close, we'll get caught up in the explosion.
We've recalculated the remaining time. 90 seconds to the enemy's air defense network. 60 seconds remain. Hope you're all enjoying the pretty fireworks. If this thing had any windows, we could have seen it for ourselves. Nice work, team.
We're gonna find ourselves a boat and leave this island. We'll be taking the refugees, along with any deserters from the Erusian military.
Who's the girl that ran at the tanks with the smoke canister? A few more crazies like her, and life down there may have been a tad bit easier.
What do you think would have happened to those refugees if you hadn't intervened? The princess saw what happened. They were little kids.
That's why I like the sky. You don't have to see those types of things.
Does this mean we're that much closer to ending the war?
No, we just basically prevented it from going on forever.
Count's right. We have no choice but to return to our original base. Our base that is nearly out of food and fuel. We need to do something.
Good. Take a seat. Everyone's here. All right.
Good work in sinking the supply ships. Not to mention saving the refugees. However, we're in no position to start celebrating. Even the commander here is starting to fray from the stress.
Can't say I blame him.
Now, Tyler Island is in a state of complete anarchy. This base isn't safe either. The faces you see around you are the only friends we've got. Take a good look.
We found a boat, then sailed away from the island. We had to. We didn't belong there. The new guy's name was George. I noticed when the anarchist said his name, he said it with a thick Belkan accent. How did you know that he was from Belka?
Well, both my parents were from Belka, so...
You never told me that. They say that Belkans are known for their conspiracies.
That's just a stereotype. Now, I simply stated my honest opinion and was thrown in jail for it.
The princess sat there looking miserable. That was a dumbass stunt she pulled back there, but it got us on this boat. Take a look at that. This ship is heading for a single rope that's hanging down from the sky. Do you know how far the end of that rope reaches?
Outer space.
No. It is a direct connection to the very potential of mankind itself. Or at least it was until war erupted.
It's my strong belief that the rope might be connected to a very distant, faraway source of great conflict and strife. Even long before the war, the whole world started falling apart once Harling began trying to build it. I often wonder what was going through Harling's mind when he was trying to destroy the very thing that so many people were sacrificed in order to create.
Sacrificed? What do you mean?
Have you seen all of those countless old space shuttles on Tyler Island that are no longer in use?
Yeah. I always thought of them as a good source of scrap. They're an obsolete technology that was abandoned during the construction of the space elevator. Which would mean that if the space elevator was destroyed, it would be that much harder for mankind to reach the stars. Until we find another way.
But even then, Harling still went ahead and tried to destroy it. At the cost of his own life.
That's not the way I heard it. What I heard was that he sacrificed himself to protect the tower from an incoming missile.
Oh, I was told he tried to fly his ship into the tower in order to destroy it.
I wonder which story is true, Your Royal Highness.
I don't know. Looking at it objectively, it's reasonable to believe that Harling had both options before him.
When it comes to which one you think he took, I guess it's like a mirror.
Yes, it is. It's like a mirror looking into your own soul, based on whichever choice you believe it was. At the moment, though, I can only see darkness. I think that thing should be destroyed.
It's time for the briefing. Although, since we don't have any contact with HQ, it's not like this is an official mission. Anyway, it looks like the seizure of Tyler Island and the relief from Osea have been postponed. In the meantime, we just have to do what we can to survive. Since losing its capital city of Ferbanti, Erusian forces have separated into smaller, autonomous factions. It looks like Erusia's largest force and leading faction will pass through the area around this base. The space elevator is significant to them, so they're probably heading there.
Should we intercept?
Why? I doubt they're gonna start a fight now.
Our top priority should be to get home. Let's go already.
Yeah. It's not like we have the supplies, power, or even a real reason to put up a fight. But what are we going to do if they bring the fight to us? We need to be ready to push them back. If we head inland from here towards Erusia, there's an old castle that's been converted into a stockpiling base. Shalaji Castle. It's currently occupied by some of the Erusian forces that broke off, but we need ammo and fuel. They appear to have converted a freeway into a runway, so we can expect them to have the capacity for air combat. But they'll be easier to handle than Erusia's lead faction. Well, we can't use all our aircraft to attack. The transport carrying the stolen supplies needs support. Okay, Strider Squadron. You head out first, and neuter the dogs at the stockpiling base. Rendezvous with Cyclops Squadron, who will bring the transport. Then we bring the supplies back to this base.
Got it.
Aircraft are our only threat.
Sounds good.
We'll make it. We're all gonna fly home. Together.
Strider Squadron, aircraft prep complete. You're cleared to taxi.
No Osean forces are in the region ahead. No allies here. No need to ID your target. We've set a number of priority targets, focusing on their anti-aircraft weaponry. Okay, team, get to work.
Unidentified aircraft, not sure if friend or foe. Fire anyway. We don't have time to be wondering if they're friendlies or not.
Target destroyed.
Locked on, Bandit. So, we capture this base and take the fuel and supplies. That's the plan, right, Trigger?
You take if you want to live. That's how it was where I grew up.
I was just double-checking mission orders, Hushin.
Don't stop the car! It'll make us an easier target!
Vehicle confirmed destroyed.
Strider 1, our anti-air guns are destroyed! Abandon and fall back to our rear position! Retreat! Why aren't our planes up in the air?
APC destroyed.
There are more vehicles along the road. They don't appear to be military. They're Erusian refugees. They must be fleeing since the conflict got worse.
Unidentified aircraft. Identify at once or we'll open fire.
What are you talking about? They already are firing on us. The enemy's confused. I know.
We're all out of ammo. Don't give up. We're not going to lose our country again.
Stall warning.
Help is here.
Vehicle confirmed destroyed.
No, they're with the Osean Army.
So what's this faction split from the Erusian military?
The autonomous state of Shalaji used to be a nation. The region has always leaned towards independence. Those who want to restore their homelands flock to it. Apparently, their core consists of officers from Vassalage, which neighbored Shalaji.
Are they our enemies?
They're our enemy's enemy, but not our friends.
Missile. 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 Missile.
Enemy got away.
Missile.
In gun range.
Stall warning. Stall warning. Stall warning.
Strider 1, missile launched.
Missile. Missile.
That squad, 4 fighters.
Stall warning.
Enemy on your back.
Stall warning. Stall warning.
Taking evasive action.
The resistance is strong. They seem pretty desperate.
Missile. Caution.
We don't have enough AA weapons.
Caution.
Spiked. Breaking away.
Caution. Missile.
Strider 1, target acquired.
Missile. Caution. Pull up. Caution.
Strider 1, target on us. We're unable to use the SAMs. Help me!
Flame will last up if you stay in there too long.
They have 4 aircraft. 4 planes incoming. Fire more missiles. Missiles to our no.
Caution. Pull up.
Castle. Let's hurry up and capture this base so we can get its fuel and supplies.
Shit. I feel like we're a group of burglars.
Don't say that. This is for our survival.
Yeah, I know.
Strider 1, target destroyed.
That's Shalaji Castle.
Missile.
They're here already. They paid for what they did to our scouts. Take in both civilians and refugees without discrimination. Get away from the stone buildings and take shelter somewhere sturdier or underground. Drop where you are and cover your head if you hear jet engines. Hurry up and take off prep.
Strider 1, Fox 2.
They're targeting our anti-aircraft weaponry. They're taking out more than half. There are 4 enemy aircraft, but one is causing us the most grief.
I heard about 3 strikes when I was in the east. What do we hear?
Target destroyed by Strider 1. Strider 1, target eliminated. Locked on Bandit.
No, we gotta fire!
Bandit acquired. Firing.
Missile.
Lost 1.5 of our forces! The battle won't last much longer! Let them have our lives. As long as our nation stands, the young will carry on.
New hostiles. All aircraft confirmed.
This town is of high cultural value. It's unfortunate we get involved in like we did.
We did what we did to survive, right?
Not something I'll tell my son about.
Missile.
AA destroyed! We're sitting ducks! Cancel takeoff. Soul Squadron, stand by.
Negative. This battle's over if we don't get up there. Along with hope of restoration.
Fox 2.
Don't worry. As long as we accelerate inside the tunnel, they won't be able to shoot us down that easily.
3 interceptors are in the air.
All right.
Getting to takeoff speed inside the tunnel is insane.
Soul Squadron, airborne. Shoot the invaders out of our skies. Good luck, Soul Squadron.
Understood. You are in violation of Shalaji airspace. Turn around or we'll be forced to shoot you down.
This is the Osean Long Range Strategic Strike Group. Land immediately and hand over your planes and base to us.
You must be the snowbirds. It's absurd for you to be talking so tough after losing one of the leaders at Fort Monte. You bastard! You defile this country. As long as you're here, this country will never know peace. Shit!
Enemy on your back!
Missile away.
There's no need to get killed. I'm out! Ejecting! I hope he's okay. Bailing out under those conditions. I can see his parachute. It's breaking the exit to safety.
3 to go. Don't let them work together. Back up trigger.
Wilco. Righto.
Damn. We can't even last long enough to buy ourselves some time. As expected, a lucky shot would be boring.
Some kind of energy weapon. No, it's a railgun.
Strider 1, you have a bogey approaching at high speed. Bearing 090, straight from the east. High-speed projectile launch from enemy aircraft.
I'm testing this aircraft. You must find your own sky. We can still help you. Don't waste your life. Dedicated to reclaiming that which you call home. Furthermore, you must find someone to guide you. I am not that person.
Star warning.
Muslim squad will be retreating. Those fighting below are advised to temporarily withdraw. Don't die. As long as we're
must form a perimeter to catch whatever slips through. Wilco, might just cost us our lives.
Stall warning.
Hit on unidentified aircraft.
Missile.
The enemy's mobility is still unfazed. Keep up the attack.
Mr. X is ascending rapidly.
The missiles went straight for the sun. Not a casual move.
Someone to guide us. Wait, I can't think of anyone other than you. Being together with Mihai taught me something. Drone fighters don't belong in the blue. It's the cosmos of the skies. And they're what the Velocinian Air Force should be fighting against.
90%. 100%. Targeting correction, 1.7 degrees. Targeting assisted prep complete.
Not bad.
Unidentified aircraft. Land your plane and surrender. Why do you feel the need to continue fighting on your own?
That's funny. It seems like one of the pilots is also fighting alone.
He's not alone. Look around you.
I see. Perhaps it would have been best to entrust the future to pilots like that. Let me test him then, to see if he's truly worthy.
Hey, look. It's like the sky's been sliced wide open. The experimental unit probably made themselves a new toy.
Caution. Missile.
Watch it. Enemy has a lock on you.
Missile.
That bastard's moving in a way that minimizes the damage even when he's hit. Keep firing those missiles until you blow him to pieces.
This weapon is not enough to take down 3 strikes. This aircraft is my body. If they are not enough, then I must put my soul into it. There are pilots like you in every generation, and I found every last one of them. What do you think of this?
Missile.
Warning. Enemy has a bead on you.
Strider 1 scored another hit.
It's a hit. The unidentified aircraft is going down.
You got him. Trigger has splashed a bandit.
Can you hear me, pilot with the 3 strikes? This was all due to my ego. I unleashed pure chaos upon this world, just so I could keep my wings. Put a stop to the drone production.
Is this a message to Trigger? What does it mean?
I don't think this war is over just because we shot down Mr. X. Yeah, it's gonna take something else entirely to end this thing. I just don't know what.
The resupply went well. We should be okay on food and fuel reserves for a little while at least. Luckily, the rumor that the Erusian army is advancing nearby is only a rumor. There's no sign of them from the skies. Rumors, rumors, rumors. This is what happens when you lose communications. But we got one good fact. The plane Trigger shot down was an advanced model of the X-02 Wyvern. It was developed in the last Continental War. Erusia had a lot up their sleeves. Apparently, they were even supposed to have Belkin aircraft back in the First War. What if Trigger couldn't shoot it down? Just thinking about it gives me chills. We're lucky to be here. In war, you never know what's lurking behind the curtains. But it looks like everything's loose now. A solid chain of command, rest periods after sorties, a battlefield where you know friend from foe. All of that's gone now, lost in a fog of confusion. Feels like a distant dream. Now, just how the hell are we gonna get out of this mess?
When we got to the mainland, we found the space elevator's support facility. I guess this was the factory where they built the gigantic structure the elevator traveled in. There was this little girl sitting in front of a mural. When the princess saw her, she shuddered like she'd seen a ghost. The girl had a stuffed animal. This was the day after the shit went down at Tyler Island. She walked right up to the princess, took her hand, and led her into the factory. One thing's for sure, they knew each other. The factory'd been converted to a production line for Erusian drones. It was fully automated and chugging along, making drone after drone after drone. Once they got inside, the princess stopped and just stood there. Another girl was there with a man in a lab coat. He was trying to use his keyboard, but she wouldn't let him. She took a data chip and threw it on the ground. Then she walked over to us and took the gun from the prison guard's holster. She pulled the trigger and destroyed the chip. Later, I found out that the girl with the gun and the one with the stuffed animal were sisters. They were also the granddaughters of Mihai A. Shalaji, the legendary pilot. Gramps used to talk about him. He said Mihai was the top ace from 2 wars ago. Know any Belkans? Because this guy was a Belkan, and they love to stir shit up. Pitting nations against other nations is a particular favorite of theirs, along with developing hyper-advanced technology.
That's right. I'm Belkan, born and raised. My country is gone now. Rather than surrender to its enemy, Belka detonated 7 nuclear weapons on its own soil. My people scattered around the globe, living in the shadows of other countries. We had a new purpose: to breed wars. The theory was that through war, we could achieve our destiny and our revenge. I had just finished inputting Mihai's data when his granddaughter came in. She destroyed the only copy I had of the information I squeezed out of him. The girl loved Mihai. No one knew more than her just how hard I pushed her grandfather for that data, how much I made him sacrifice in the process. I promised his granddaughters that his efforts were not in vain, that it could end this terrible war. But in the end, it only caused more chaos and despair. We were responsible for all this damage, all this tragedy. Now, we were going to pay for it. The Erusians, once our allies, would see to that. I had lost the drive to continue my work, even before I noticed Mihai's granddaughters eyeing me with suspicion that one day. I should have stopped then, for all our sakes. Mihai's granddaughter tossed the gun aside. She said if she resorted to killing, she'd just end up like the rest of us. And by us, she meant everyone, including the princess. Like me, the princess was afraid to look into the girl's eyes. She knew that by encouraging her people, she kept the war going. Mihai and his granddaughter were victims of it, and now, they too were paying the price.
Is this for Belka? Or for Erusea? My grandfather had only one wish: to continue soaring through the endless skies. That was the only place where he felt alive. But I don't even have a country to call home, let alone the sky. The Black Forest, the lake, they are no longer mine. even though those lands were once cherished by my late mother. We have to learn to put that sense of nostalgia behind us and behave like mature adults.
My homeland. She's right. It feels so far away now. The woman with the rifle approached me. She was focused on more pressing issues.
I checked the computer. All of the data on the legendary Ace had already been installed.
No, I pulled it before it was completed. However, there are 2 aircraft that are already scheduled to be manufactured based on that data.
We must destroy the factory.
This isn't the only one. There are more facilities just like it, and the 2 planes containing the data will be manufactured at one of those facilities.
So, this place runs on solar power that the space elevator generates, right? How about the others? We can destroy the space elevator and cut the power to them. First things first, let's take this one out.
I'll show you which locations to target.
I stood there, thinking about that mural by the factory's entrance. Harling commissioned it to be painted. I realized that in the background, behind the dancing figures, the artist had painted several space elevators. I understand now. The space elevator wasn't designed to exploit Erusia after all.
Good. And afterwards, we'll bring down the space elevator itself. No matter why it was built. Right now, it's the root of this chaos.
I wonder...
Yes?
I wonder... which path you would choose when looking at Harling's mirror.
Let's get the briefing started.
We've done enough air operations. Just let us go home.
There's no path for us to get home. Whatever direction you fly, it'll be right into a hail of enemy fire. Earlier, we received a communication via the partially restored General Network. Here is what it contained. Apparently, the Erusian radicals have gathered around the space elevator, as it's a source of energy. Give the warmongers a powerful energy source, and you give them the luxury to keep on fighting. In response to this, people from both Osea and Erusia have joined forces, and will take down the final Arsenal bird in a saturation attack from the air to the sea. Once that's achieved, they'll take the space elevator from the aggressors.
Has the source been verified?
It could be fake. I hear you. Take a look at what's written at the end. Hey, dumbass. If you want to bring the world back from the brink, go to the lighthouse. You can see the future.
Dumbass? Sounds familiar.
It certainly does. It's from those guys we met in Tyler Island. The 444 Squad. It's a message to all those looking to end the war. But I also think it's a message for Trigger.
Guess we'll do what it says.
Okay. Well then, I'm thinking we go roast that damn bird.
Looks like we're all on the same page. It's time to end this war. Time to fly, guys. Let's go get that Arsenal bird.
Strider Squadron, sortie ASAP.
Get into formation. We have the numbers.
Well, if it isn't the LRSSG, looks like our luck has turned. LRSSG, you will secure air superiority. There are Erusian aircraft in the Coalition, so they have been ID'd as friendly via the data link.
Just confirmed it.
The Erusian government aircraft, including drones, will show up as hostiles. You two aces, I'm thinking it's time to show us what you've got.
We don't have two anymore. Guess nobody told them.
That's quite true, Count. It's not just two. Wiseman trained his squad well. Everyone's still in it as an ace. He'd be proud of you all.
To all of you who have gathered here, regardless of your country, this is headquarters of the Osean Army Southern Command. Wait, you can forget that designation. We are a coalition formed exclusively for the sole purpose of taking down the Arsenal Bird. Wait until we're ready to strike the Arsenal Bird in Roger.
Right. Speaking on an open channel. The enemy can hear everything he's saying. There's no other choice. Russian aircraft are in the coalition as well.
This is Skull Squadron and Rigel Squadron of the Erusian Air Force. We're here on our own. Lancaster, we're entering your airspace.
This is Seal 2. Republic of Boston are also moved to rendezvous. There's only one squadron, though.
So Mr. Max's crew.
Count, ease up. Engagement is forbidden.
Don't worry, I know. We need every bird we can call upon. Even if they were flying with the guy that killed Wiseman. Some of their squadrons are in weird formations.
They have manned aircraft with UAVs in flame mode.
All this just to keep a war going. The UAVs were sluggish once the leader went down.
I thought as much. Drones without leaders are slow as hell. Biggest flaw in their slave mode.
Okay, commencing transmission. I'm speaking over both terrestrial broadcasting and video transmission networks. It's not important why... No, we are. First, our goals. Destroy the space elevator. Second, we want power to the drone factory cut in order to put a stop to all the war and chaos these products cause. And last, we want to bring an end to this pointless war that has given rise to a state of anarchy. Let me tell you what's going on right now. The land is overrun with refugees who have lost their homes. This is no isolated incident. In spite of that, the war continues to rage overhead.
Pretty sloppy, but there's a lot of them. One run and you'll be surrounded.
Drone leadership right verified. Invade. Do it now. We've got no choice but to rely on this thing. Ready to clear.
Strutter 1, missile launched.
Think about it. We're guinea pigs on this battlefield.
Are the friendly Erusians rebels or what?
They're rebels, but I'm sure it's more complicated than that. Brush up on current events later. Focus on the enemy.
Copy that. Take a look. See that line continuing above the horizon? The cable goes up to the sky as far as the eye can see. You can believe this, but the space elevator is the world's tallest transmission tower. In theory, its radio waves cover exactly half the globe. We've jacked up signal in order to reach out to you.
Say goodbye.
Breaking from enemy.
Pick up the gun. Trigger is on fast with your future. How many more do we need to take out?
Shoot them down one at a time. You'll run out eventually.
Three strikes on our side? This is actually another in a long time. Three strikes? Never again.
Communications infrastructure down. This broadcast can only be transmitted to certain regions. If you can access the server, consider yourself lucky. You get to see a real live princess. Hey, Cosette, say hello to everyone. Yes.
Safe over here. You're taking away all their guns.
Yes. Let's open up the exit. Everyone get the refugees into the underground tunnel. George, tabloid.
All right, understood.
Okay, lock and quiet. Firing. I have a visual on three strikes. Look out for three strikes. Do not shoot him down. Call out!
Missile evading!
Missile.
How about one more than however many they made?
Our princess is looking at a mural. There's another one here too. It shows a whole bunch of space elevators. Skies unknown. Cosette, let's go. Yes!
Warning! Missiles launched from the Arsenal bird. They're Helios projectiles. All aircraft, stay clear of the blast area.
Missile.
10 seconds to impact. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Impact.
Somebody got caught in that explosion.
Lancaster, do we have more incoming?
Unknown. Proceed with caution.
We can't switch off the security system. We've got this. If what he said is true, this will give us at least 10 seconds. Cosette! Cosette! What the hell's wrong with you? Get back here! As you all saw, we have a problem. The princess went by herself into the maintenance area and has shut us out. No idea what got her going this time.
Missile launch from the Arsenal bird. Shit, airburst tight. Helios arriving in 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2. Helios arrived.
I'm bailing out!
I said we were going to take down the space elevator, but it's not like we can just go out there and chop it down. At the top of the windbreak, 6 location markers have been set in place. They monitor distortions in the space elevator. Those are the locations we need to target. If the sensors go bad, the elevator's observation system will think the elevator has fallen. Until its safety can be confirmed, all microwaves will be stopped.
Oh, I get it. What a party.
I'm going to do it myself. You dumbass.
Helios launched from the Arsenal bird. Five seconds. 3, 2, impact now.
Caught that. It's all over.
Helios arriving in 10 seconds. 5 seconds to arrival. 2, inbound.
Missile.
I'm hit! I'm going down! It's up to you now.
Locked on. 3 seconds remaining.
Enemy's got a lock! I'm trying to break! Enemy has a lock on you! The monster bird is in our trap. We'll use a saturation attack. Wait for the signal.
Locked on Bandit. Bandit on a friendly's tail.
Miss, target's still active.
Inform the coalition units. We're nearing 0 hour. 10 seconds until the united attack of the Arsenal bird.
Incoming!
5, 4. Everybody, give this attack everything you've got. Open fire!
Shot out of the sky! Attack failed! Cruise missiles did not reach their target!
Damn monster!
Lancaster warning all aircraft. I have multiple blips on my scope.
Here they come.
That's something.
Hey, look at the Arsenal bird.
Lasers!
We can't drain it! Evacuate! Flash is coming, heavily damaged by laser weapons. The work is capsized. Aircraft controller melting. Signal blast! Deploy lifeboats!
HQ, we have a problem. Damage to the Allied fleet is extensive.
That's some pretty impressive firepower. I, for one, did not see that coming.
The active protection system operated as expected. We should launch another saturation attack. Air power. You'll slow the Arsenal bird.
Main propeller 1 confirmed stall. Good work, Trigger. Keep up the attack. Both main propellers have been stalled.
Look at that light from the Arsenal bird.
Strider 1, you're taking fire. It's readying its APS. All aircraft, break off from the Arsenal bird.
Locked on. That's cool. Without the AWACS, I would have been a goner.
That's not the control room. Go through the airlock and get on the maintenance elevator. Head to the top of the windbreak. Do you think you can put on that pressurized suit by yourself? You'll never get it on with those frills.
I'm getting sick of that arrogant bastard, seriously.
No good. The engine control room is gone. I'm hearing CIC.
Nothing phases this thing. Where are we supposed to hit it?
All aircraft. We can no longer commence with a second saturation attack. All aircraft, separately engage in direct attacks.
HQ, it won't be easy to take down the Arsenal bird with conventional weaponry. All the ace pilots in the world won't save us unless we have a plan.
Enemy on your back. Give us time. We'll see what we can do.
You're just thinking about it now? Cover any friendlies it's hit.
Sub-propeller confirmed destroyed.
Hostile has a lock.
Strider 1 has destroyed a sub-propeller.
You can do it. There's no way it isn't damaged.
Damn it. I've taken some damage. One aircraft hit. No two.
I can see light bulb shaped thing, but it isn't lit up. That's the location marker. Have it from there, right? Got it.
Just anything like this will get us all killed. Trigger got a sub-propeller. You're getting the hang of this, Trigger. Taking fire! When's that shield gonna lose power? Never. Elevator's continuously supplying you with power.
Then what should we do?
Calm down. I'll do something.
What are you gonna do? Cosette, smash it. Smash all 6 of the bastards. It'll lose power. They took out Strider 1.
Damn monster.
Lancaster warning all aircraft. I have multiple blips on my scope.
Here they come.
That's something.
Hey, look at the Arsenal bird.
Lasers!
Missile distress and dragon marker sunk. We can't drain it. Evacuate! Flash is starting, heavily damaged by laser weapons. The work is capsized. Aircraft controller melting. Signal blast! Deploy lifeboats!
HQ, we have a problem. Damage to the Allied fleet is extensive.
That's some pretty impressive firepower. I, for one, did not see that coming.
The active protection system operated as expected. We should launch another saturation attack. Air power. You'll slow the Arsenal bird.
Missile! Break hard!
Look at that light from the Arsenal bird.
Strider 1, bandit on your tail.
Missile inbound! Evade!
It's readying its APS. All aircraft, break off from the Arsenal bird.
That was close. Without the AWACS, I would have been a goner.
Cosette, that's not the control room. Go through the airlock and get on the maintenance elevator. Head to the top of the windbreak. Do you think you can put on that pressurized suit by yourself? You'll never get it on with those frills.
I'm getting sick of that arrogant bastard. bastard, seriously.
No good. The engine control room is gone.
Headquarters
They got a radar room here in CIC.
It's broken. Nothing phases this thing. Where are we supposed to hit it?
All aircraft. We can no longer commence with a second saturation attack. All aircraft, separately engage in direct attacks.
HQ, it won't be easy to take down the arsenal burn with conventional weaponry. All the ace pilots in the world won't save us unless we have a plan.
Give us time. We'll see what we can do.
You're just thinking about it now?
Sub-propeller confirmed destroyed.
Cover any friendlies it's hit.
You're fine now.
Strider 1 has destroyed the sub-propeller.
You can do it. There's no way it isn't damaged.
Strider 1, Fox 2. It is readying its APS.
Damn it! I've taken some damage. One aircraft hit. No, two!
Missile.
I can see a bulb-shaped thing, but it isn't lit up. That's it. That's a location marker. Have it from there, right? Got it.
Is there something we can do? Anything like this will get us all killed. Trigger got a sub-propeller.
Main propeller 1 confirmed stall. Good work, Trigger. Keep up the attack.
My plane's starting to ice up. Missile inbound! Evade! When's that shield gonna lose power?
When elevators continuously supply you with power.
Then what should we do?
Calm down. I'll do something.
What are you gonna do? Go ahead. Smash it. Smash all 6 of them faster. It'll lose power.
Strider 1 was shot down.